How do coaches scale to $1 million a month? I work with those people. One of my coaches I learned a lot from, he makes $7 million a month and he is one of the best salespeople in the world. So how do you do that? How is that possible? I remember not too long ago, I was at a swimming pool in Bali and I was talking with other coaches and they're like, yeah, I sell my things for $500. I told them how friends were charging, how much it cost to make a deal with me. And they were like, how do you even do that? Myself was like that. I was at the beginning, I got a lot of followers on Instagram and I was like, okay, well, what's the next step? I need to sell something. How do I sell something? So I started selling courses. I give my courses for free, what people paid for actually, because you got to listen to a lot of videos and you got to do it by yourself. And actually YouTube is often better than looking at a whole course or doing a lot of things. It depends. In courses, you can have like templates and different things like that. But that I sold for 100 to 1,000. Those kind of things. It raised the prices, raised the value. Now, how did I raise the value, right? I got a lot of followers when I started showing how I edited my photos, right? Listen, the thing is, like, doing social media takes all of your time. And then also editing videos costs a lot of money, right? You got to pay people. You got to sit on it. So it took my money and it took all my time and it brought me nothing. Like, followers is cool, but where does it go? Like, it doesn't help me. And now I don't have time to, work at my actual job, which was photography and videography back then. Okay, well, how do you make money from it? And some people say stupid numbers, like you should make $1 from each follower you have a month. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's not like that. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. Like, I know people, this one guy that makes $1 million a month, he had 10,000 followers or 20,000 followers. And I was like, I made 75,000. I got 75,000 followers. I should be making much more money than you. No, you don't, because he is much better in business than me. So that's a big difference. How much money you make is how much you provide to the marketplace and how much value you provide and how good you are at what you do, right? Anyway, at the beginning, I got a lot of followers because I was showing how to edit. Then I was showing how to communicate with clients. And then I was showing other things. And I got viral for providing value, right? So the next step is like, okay, well, if they're interested so much in how I edit, let's make a course about how I edit my photos. And so I started selling that for $100, right? But like, how much value is there in learning how to edit photos? Not so much. What do photographers really want? Or what do those people that follow me really want? They want to make more money. Everyone wants to solve the biggest problem. So if you're a health coach, which I have a lot of clients in the health industry, how can you solve the biggest problem they have? If it's like, I can help you solve bloating, cool, that's a problem. But if you can help me live longer, or you can help me fix one of the biggest problems that I have in my life, okay, I can pay you much more. Right? Now, how to edit photos and how to talk to clients and all of those things are inside it. I'll teach you how to make more money. All of the small things, right, that if you're interested are inside it. To make more money, you need to learn how to edit photos better and how to talk to clients better and how to do a lot of different things. But now you solve the biggest problem they have. Make more money, become rich, right? That's what people want. So the bigger the problem, the more money you can make. Now, another thing is the more niche it is, right? The rarer it is, the better it is. And now this really depends what niche you choose, because I chose photography. One of the problems is that photography is going down because everyone has better and better cameras from their phone. So the whole industry is going down. And also people who do photography don't have so much money, right? They're solopreneurs. They don't make too much money. Most of them make for $3,000 a month. And so from me going from working with Tommy Hilfiger and some of the biggest people and individuals in the world to suddenly working with people who make less money than me was a big slap in the face. But I wanted to travel the world, so I did it anyway. But that was a hard thing. And that's why I stopped working with photographers. Even though I got some of them to, $30,000 a month, $50,000 a month, asking money from them is a big portion of the thing. So the second thing is what niche, like who are you helping? And my rule, or what I learned, is the richer the person, the easier it is to ask money from them. Exchange value for money. You can ask people for $50,000 if they're individuals and they're you help them solve a big problem. People do that. My coach, Cole Gordon, he charges $15,000 for something you don't even talk to him at all. And then he charges another $69,000 for a yearly coaching with him and meeting. So this guy charges $15,000 and you don't talk to them. And then $69,000 can talk to him in a group setting and you can see him at events. But he's talking to rich people, right? And not everyone can afford it. So he's only selling that to really successful and rich people. And so it's a positioning thing. So the more you can niche down into, like, for example, if you're a doctor and you do only feet, you fix only feet, then people would pay you much more money than if you're just a general doctor. Because people who have feet problems or who need to go through operations and things like that, they would pay you a lot more money because you're a specialist and because they probably have a big problem that no one else can fix. Now, one of those principles for me was also sell the most valuable thing you can, right? And so what I used to sell was my hands. I was a hands with a camera, right? That's why like most photographers, they get paid really low because first of all, they don't work with the right person. But second of all, they are presenting themselves as hands with a camera. Who have hands and who knows how to use a camera? A lot of people, right? So the best thing you can sell is actually your brain because it's much more complicated and it's much more unique and you can sell different things there. So selling information is one of the most powerful things. Plus, it's much easier because you don't need to be physically on location. Right? When you sell your hands, you go with a camera or you sell service, you do massages, things like that, you need to be physically on location. I can travel the world because I sell my information. And information is also one of the most valuable things. If you can help someone change their behavior from doing this habit to this habit, which helps them make 100 times more money, which is exactly what I do, you can charge a lot of money because you made them a lot of money. So ROI is one of the biggest things as well. Most of the people that work with me make much more money than they would ever pay me. Amazing. Otherwise, like it doesn't make sense to even work together. We spoke about the basics. Now, how do you scale that to $1 million, right? I sold those courses. Then I came to Asia and I went to one of the most expensive co-working spaces. I was like, you know what? I'm going to think big. I want to do big things. Like it's a good ROI for me to invest into meeting the right people. So I went to this expensive co-working space. I meet a few people who speak Dutch about content and making money. And I listen to it and I hear it and I'm like, I need to talk to those guys. They seem like they know what they're doing. And I'm here with a lot of followers, but making no money at all. So I approached them, told them, hey, I just got a lot of followers, making no money. The guy next to one of the guys that I'm talking to, he's like, this guy is the OG of making money online. He knows exactly how to do it. Found out he was making $400,000. The month before, he had a phase where he was making $1 million a month. How? He told me, Sam, he looked at my stuff and he was like, Sam, stop selling things for like 500 or 1,000. Your minimum needs to be 2,500. And I was like, there's no way people would pay that. Just raising it from like 100 to 200, there's a lot of resistance. Raising it from 500 to 1,000, like almost no one pays for it. I got to play all the games. When you're above 500, you start playing the games of like, oh yeah, limited time and it's last time you can buy it, or I'm going to do a discount now, I'm going to raise the prices. All those time games, which I don't like playing. He was just like, they're not going to buy it just like that. You need to do a sales call. You need to do a free call with them. And for me, that was new. That was like, shit. I'm like, when someone bought something from me, I was scared. I was like, ooh, I hope I never hear from them, right? Only if I hear from them, it should be something good. Because like selling on the internet is scary at the beginning. It's like, I don't know, like, what do they think about it? I want to know what they think about it, of course. But if they're like super mad about it and they think it's a scam, like people online can be much more aggressive. In the comments, you would see like the rudest things, right? Anyway, so I was afraid. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to listen to you. He recommended 2 books that helped me change my life, but it got me overwhelmed as well. Those 2 books were .com Secrets and Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. Now there are better books like $100 million offer or $100 million leads. Similar concepts by Alex Hormozi. But then he was like, you do sales calls, free sales calls. For someone to want to buy from you, you know, you got to show them how much value you can provide to them. It's all about trust. If you are asking for a lot of their money or for a bigger amount, they got to trust you more. And it's uncomfortable to pay someone $2.5K. So they got to trust you and it needs to be personalized to them. So in a sales call, like it's a whole psychology, but you basically need to learn exactly where they're at now, why there's a problem and what the problem exactly is, how big is the problem. So you ask them, how long is that even the problem? What have you tried? And then what's the desire, right? And actually the best order is current situation, desire, why are you not there yet? And then once you know exactly the problem, you can give them the exact solution and it can be personalized to them. So it's like, hey, remember you told me you don't know where to get leads from. I mean, every time you make a video, it doesn't work out. And you have a lot of fears around videos and things like that. So this is exactly how we're going to solve that. You know, it's a step-by-step plan. It's more personalized plan. If you sell a course, for example, it can be the same course, but you just tell them like, hey, in the first section, we solved that. In the second section, we solved that. When we talk about a problem, it's like, okay, this is relevant for me. This is like, I need to solve this, right? Okay, so $2.5K, you do it yourself. That's his thing, right? That's how he got to $1 million a month. So he told me. $2.5K is you do it yourself. It's a course. You still get a free sales call with a team, right? Which is when you buy, but you do it yourself. $5K is group coaching with a main guy, right? He's making $1 million a month. He have a lot of people who pay him $5K to do a group coaching with him. $15,000 is one-on-one with him. $15K, one-on-one. So that costs them the most time, right? $5K is group coaching. $2.5K, you do it alone. It's just a course. Now, one of the things that guy would say as well is selling someone is the best thing you can do for them. And it's true. if you are a good person and you have good intentions, of course, if you believe in for really help them. One of the principles I heard about sales that I love the most is, like, I heard a different version of it and then I changed it a little bit, but it's the person who cares the most about the customer's problem will win the sale. And sometimes the clients themselves don't care about the problem like you do. So for example, let's say someone like my father, right? His back is broken. He needs to do an operation. He gave up on life. He doesn't care about his problem. There's so much resentment in him. He doesn't want to do the operation. He saw so many people who had terrible results from those operations. He doesn't want to do that, right? If he would go with a right salesperson or a right doctor to a conversation, and that person would be like, dude, you're gonna suffer even more. You're gonna die, you're gonna lose all your grandkids memories, you're not gonna be able to run with them. Is that what you want? Really care for him and explain to him, hey, you're doing a mistake by not doing this operation or not solving this problem, and following up with it. Or not, it doesn't need to be following up, but like, hey, I think you're doing really a mistake here. And then a day later or a few weeks later saying, hey, did you give up on your back or on your life? Things like that. Yeah, the person who cares the most about a person. And so the doctor cares basically more about my father than my father cares about his body and his problem, right? Yeah, some of the best salespeople are actually doctors. A doctor doesn't feel like a salesperson. He's expert. So you come to him, it's like, hey, what's the problem? Why do you come here? How long has it been a problem? What have you tried to fix it, right? Similar questions, but you trust him more because you have a white suit and he's an expert as well. Okay, so how do you scale it to $1 million, right? You charge 15K for some people, you charge 5K for other people. Now, let's do the math. To make $1 million a month, you'll need to sell 200 times group package of 5K. That's a lot. Can you do it all by yourself? No, that's too hard. That's where you hire salespeople. Now, okay, 200, let's say 1 million divided by 15,000. You need 66 people to pay you 15K to make those amounts. Now, he might have had upsells or different things, or he might, get commissions from different things and things like that. But that was his structure. Anyway, so you hire salespeople. How do you hire salespeople? First of all, you need to have leads. So people who are interested in what you do. Also, you need to have a methodology, something unique. Not so, like you cannot sell something that everyone else has. So you got to have a methodology or something unique for yourself. Then which attracts more people, right? It makes people see more value in you. Then the second thing is you do ads. You have good videos, you run ads, you get a lot of people who are coming in. Then you need a setter. Someone to make sure that appointments are on time or that you get more appointments, right? So for example, someone would fill in their information, but they wouldn't book a call. That happens. Or someone just follows you. Like, I got a lot of people to buy from me because they followed me and I sent them a message. One of the best things I've done. It's called a setter. You give him 5% of how many sales you make. So sometimes they get a fee, right? They get a base fee of like 1,000 or 2,000. Basically, they get paid 5% of how much money they help you make. You pay them 5%. You hire a closer, it's called, or a salesperson. And he basically gets appointments every day. He goes on 6 calls, 10 calls, 5 calls, and then you give him 10%. So let's say you sell something for 5,000. He makes 500 of that because he makes 10%. Then the setter gets 5% as well. Now, what I did was you have an ad, you fill in your information, and then you can book a call, right? So you have an ad that is a video that explains what he does. Then you click on it, you see a VSL, which is a video sales letter. So a video basically of 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and it explains it more. After that, it's like, okay, take the next step, which is fill in your information. And then after that, book a call. And, sometimes people are not qualified also. They fill in the information and they're not like, okay, they're not qualified. It's not worth doing a call with them. And so you have the person, the setter, or he messages you on Instagram if you follow him, or filled in your information or you booked a call. He would call you and he would be like, hey, I saw you booked a call. Just want to make sure that we're both aligned and it's really a good investment for us to spend an hour together. Can you tell me a little bit more about this? Are you going to show up? How much money you're making? Whatever, right? All those things. So that's a setter. You would make sure that the appointments go good. And then the closer, you sit one-on-one, ideally like this, when they have a beautiful camera and they have a thing, and they do sales, high-ticket sales. Great. So basically, you make 80%, you give 5% to the setter, you give 3% to the processing fee, Stripe or whatever it is, and you give 10% to the closer. And of course, actually, Let's not forget the ads, which is the biggest cost. Ads, video editors, everything to run the marketing, which could be even 40%, up to 40%, it depends. Now, one of the things he told me was actually that he gets 40% of his people, of his clients, from referrals. And he does this because he gives a lot of percentage. I don't remember how much it was. It might be 30 or 35%. He gives to every client he has or everyone who refers people to him. He gives them 30%. And so the more you give people an incentive to work with you or to refer people to you, the more they go out of their way, the more they go and make content about you and they talk about you and they recommend you to everyone. So that was one of his secrets.